All right, welcome to another exciting driving episode of Spot Goes. And I'm on my way to work once again. Let me adjust that a little bit. And let's see, I'm now working 5 to 1. I have to leave here about 4:15. I live about 6 miles from the station. But the reason I leave so early is because I need to stop and grab a sandwich, grab something to eat at Foodland, and before I get into work. So giving myself a little extra time to grab a sandwich and be happy. Anyways, so today I'm going to just talk briefly with you about how I ended up living in Hawaii from the beginning. I came here. I used to just like to surf all the time, and I came here as a surfer. Basically, I wasn't thinking too much about my future, and I just came and surfed. I waited tables, and then I went home, went back to California, went to college. And what ended up happening was I had a friend of mine that had a house out here, and he called me one day and said, "Hey, why don't you come live in my house for what you're paying to live in LA?" And at the time, it sounded like a great idea. And I figured, you know what? I'll give myself a year. And I've got a family. My son was 2 at the time, and which he could just fly for free. He could still fly for free. He was right under 2. And I thought, hey, let's give it a shot. This guy lived on the beach in the North Shore, and he said, hey, you just pay what you're paying in LA. And that's what I did. I came out here. I lived in LA. I came out here from LA, and I paid the same amount of rent. And really, it was something I always wanted to do, but it was the fear of not having a job and having a family. When I was single and by myself, I didn't care. I would just, I didn't care. I'd sleep on a couch, I'd sleep in a van. It didn't matter to me. I would just surf and have fun. But when you've got a kid and you've got a wife, it just doesn't go over that well. So anyways, I just came out. Me and my wife decided we'd give it a year, and if I couldn't make a living, then we would come back. We'd go back to LA, because in LA I was making pretty good money, and it was LA is a decent place to live. So we decided to give it a year. When I first came out, I didn't know what I was going to do. We had some savings, and oh, by the way, I liquidated all of our stuff. We just came out here with 2 big boxes, and that was it. We, like furniture and all that stuff, we sold it, and I always tell people, Hawaii is a fairly transient state, so you can pick up appliances, like any kind of mass-produced item, furniture or household appliances or electronics. There's I can't see much of a reason to ship those out, because here you can pick them up for secondhand. You can pick them up fairly cheap, and that's what I ended up doing. I ended up buying the first place I lived in the North Shore, my buddy's house, it was already furnished, so I didn't really need to buy anything. But when we moved out of there and we moved into town, we didn't have anything, so I went to a moving sale, and I basically just made the woman an offer on everything. I bought everything she had, so I got it for pennies on the dollar, and it was it was great. I actually had too much stuff. She had a few TVs. I ended up selling one of them, and so I would recommend doing that rather than shipping stuff out. Certain things I definitely understand shipping, one-of-a-kind items, pictures, especially if you think you're going to stay here for a while. But if you're coming out and you're not sure how long you're going to stay, hey, maybe it's better you just put it in storage until you figure out if you are going to stay, and then you can always ship it out later. But anyway, I'm off on a tangent. So I got here, and I didn't know what I was going to do. I didn't want to work in the tourist trade, and so I initially got a job driving taxi, and it took me about 4 months to get my taxi license, and I was doing that. And I actually did that for several years before I got into TV. I transitioned from taxi into TV by working at the Triple Crown surfing events, which are on the North Shore. I was doing the worst work, the hardest work there physically. It was, I was pulling cable, I was, digging ditches, delivering lunches. I got to get on camera a little bit, but mostly I was just a grunt. And I did that for a few years, and then I went from there and I started doing some college sports, and slowly I got to meet people, and then I landed the job at the station. So I guess that's another thing I would mention to anybody coming out is to be patient. Good jobs and that sort of thing. They don't just, I guess they do fall in your lap, but it wasn't my experience. I had to work, I had to, hustle and grind my way, as they say, up to a job that was decent. And, it's expensive. Hawaii's an expensive place to live. It's a hard place to raise a family, but we're doing it. And, the quality of life here is great. Anyways, that's it. And so that's in a nutshell. That's how I ended up moving here, back here the second time. It all stemmed from surfing, having a love of surfing. And I still surf. I don't surf as much as I used to. I surfed yesterday out of concessions, and it was fun. I was going to go down and shoot some water shots today, but it had gotten smaller and kind of windy, so I ended up just basically going for a run and then going to work. Today is my Friday. We're supposed to get a bump in the swell this weekend, so hopefully I'll get out there and shoot some water shots, or definitely go surf. Anyway, that's it. Thanks for listening to this nonsense, and I'm up to 3 subscribers. So hey, whoever you 3 are, thanks for watching this nonsense. And if there's anything you want to know, feel free to chime off in the comments. So thanks again. Aloha.